Okay, we're going to check out the contents of the Pams Light and Fruity Tropical Mix in the old packaging on the left, the green package on the left, which is a 500 gram pack, and the new packaging on the right, which is a 450 gram pack. So the new packaging is 13% larger by volume, but contains 10% less content by weight. It is 50 grams less than the original packaging. So we're going to check out the contents and see how they compare. So we can see in this view that the new packaging at the back is about 3 centimeters taller than the original packaging in the front. Here is the side-on view with the original packaging on the left and the new packaging on the right. The package on the left is a 500 gram and the packaging on the right is a 450 gram. So as we can see, these are new boxes that haven't been opened. They're still sealed top and bottom. This is a new packet of the new packaging. So first of all, I'm going to open the old packaging from the top and see how they compare. So first of all, I'm just going to open that up so we can see how much the foil pack, how high it sits at the top. Okay, so that's the original packaging, and this is the new packaging. Again, hasn't been opened before. In fact, this is the first time I've opened one of these of the new packaging, and I have to say it is glued down a lot better than the original ones, a bit harder to get into. Okay, so now this is interesting. The explanation that Pams gave for the larger box was because they had changed the formulation and that there were a lot more flakes of cereal, and so they needed a larger box because of the cereal flakes. As you can see, if I close the top down, you can see the difference in height here. It's about 1.5 inches or 3 centimeters difference. Okay, but the interesting difference is that in the original packaging, the foil pack actually comes almost up to the top of the inside of the box. But with the new packaging, it's actually sitting down quite low inside the box. There's actually quite a lot of room in there. So hopefully you can see that on the camera, the difference. So what I'm going to do, so I've got my marker pen here, and I'm going to mark inside the box there approximately where the top of the foil comes to, and the same thing for the existing packaging, which is pretty much at the top. Okay, now I'm going to take the foil pack out of the original one, and I'll write on this original. So that's the original one there, and I'm going to take out the new pack out of the box and write new on that. And I'm going to compare the two. So there's the original at the top and the new at the bottom, and what do we see? We see that the new pack is actually shorter than the original one. So, you know, it's a bit of a mystery why the cardboard box actually has to be taller to take a smaller pack. Now the other thing that I've got to do is we've got the trusty scales here, and I'm going to weigh these packs. I probably should have done that while they were still in the boxes, but I did do that earlier before I opened them. And I trust that these scales are accurate because they're actually Pams scales. So let's give them a try. I'm going to switch the scales on, make sure it's on 0. And I'm going to put the new pack on there, and that comes to 458 grams according to the scale. And put the original one on, and that comes to 509 grams according to the Pams scale. So I'll do that again in front of the camera. Let's bring it up close so we can see. So we've got no trickery. Okay, so we can see the scale there. That's the original pack. It's 510. It's just clicked up 1 gram there, and it's just turned off. Let's turn that back on. In fact, I'll have to reset that. Turn that off. Turn it on. Okay, so that's on 0. Let's put the original pack on, and it says 510 grams. So that's the original pack, and here is the new pack out of the new packaging, and that is 459 grams. Okay, now just out of curiosity, let's weigh the pack. That's the original pack, and that comes in at 48 grams. And the new packaging comes in at 45 grams, but we're checking the net weight of the contents inside. Alright, so the next test that we're going to do is I'm going to empty the contents out into this measuring bowl and see how they compare. Okay, let me just turn my screen around so I can see. So this is the original. I'm going to open that and pour it into the measuring bowl. Now I'll leave that on there so that we can compare the pack size once it's empty. So I'm measuring this out. Okay, so there's our foil pack from the original. It's completely empty, and we're going to keep that intact. Let's give that a shake, and try and get that as level as possible. And looking at that, looks like we are pretty much up to the what have we got? 1500 mil mark on the jug. So I'm going to measure from the top there on the inside. Approximate contents there, because the justification for the larger box was because the flakes were larger, and so they needed more space. So I've marked that around. Hopefully you can see the marks here. I'm not sure if you can or not, but we've got marks there. I've marked all around on the inside. So now I'm going to tip that out into an ice cream container. Might need 2. Okay, so I'm going to tip that out into the ice cream container. Okay. So that's the original. And we'll tip the new one into this container here once we're done. Next lot will go into that one. So again, let's take our measuring jug, and it's the first time I've opened one of these, so it'll be interesting to see how they compare in appearance. I can see already that the flakes are larger. Wow, what a difference. Well, Pams, it looks like your explanation about the box being larger because of the flake size has completely been debunked. Because as we can see, there are the lines from where I marked it earlier, and hopefully you can see that there's actually quite a bit of space between the lines and the top of the cereal. Okay, so again, a 2 litre container. I'm going to pour that into there. Now, one thing I didn't do, so I'll just tip that back in there. Okay, get that level as possible. So I'm looking on the jug for where it said mils. Let me see. So before the line went up to about 1500 mils on the jug, up to here. Okay, and here it's come up to the 1000 mil line on the jug. So if this was liquid, we would be looking at a difference of 500 mils. Alright, so let's tip it back into the 2 litre ice cream container. Give it a shake. And alright, so that's the new, that's the original. Let's have a look. Let me tip my camera up and let's do a comparison there. There we go, side by side. The original is on the left here and the new one is on the right. And we can see that there's quite a bit of difference in the level between the original and the new. So it's a lot lower down here. You can see the difference there. So saying that the box is taller to accommodate the larger flakes, and they are larger, okay, it just is nonsense because there's a lot less volume. Okay. In fact, if we take it at what did I say, 1500 mils down to 1000, obviously that's a difference of a third of volume difference. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to compare are the foil packs. So let's have a look at the foil packs, see how they compare. Okay, let me just move my camera back so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here is the new pack. Here is the original pack, foil pack, and let's see how they compare. I'll put the new one on top of the original, make sure they're as flat as possible. Okay, so they're the same width, but the new pack is actually shorter. So again, it just confirms that Pam's justification of a taller pack because of the size of the cereal flakes is nonsense, because here is the top of the new pack, and I'm going to draw the top of the new pack across the old pack, which is underneath. Okay, so if I hold that up and take that away, you can see this is the original pack, this one here. You can see that the new pack is actually, what, about an inch, just over an inch shorter than the new one is shorter than the original one. So again, that just makes complete nonsense of Pam's claim that the box size is larger because of the flakes. And really, the proof is right here in these two 1 litre ice cream containers. Now we have the original on the left and the new on the right. There we have it. About 1/3 less content in the new pack, even though the new pack is 13% taller or 13% more volume than the original pack. So I think, Pams, you have some explaining to do. I'll be interested to hear your explanation of why your pack size is 13% larger in volume for 10% less net weight and about 1/3 less volume. While the camera is rolling, let me just carefully recheck these. So that's the original. I'm not squashing it down, I'm just sort of leveling it there. And yep, I'm happy with the marks that I've put on the jug there. I don't know if you can see them clearly, but I've put these black marks around the top there. See? Around there. Now this is a 2 litre jug, and on this side here, it's a bit hard to see, I know, but that comes up to the 1500 ml line. I think you can see it there. So that black mark. So I'll tip that back out into the 2 litre container. That's the original one. Here is the new one. Okay, tip that into the 2 litre jug. Give it a shake, get it level, and I think you can see quite clearly there the difference in the marks. Okay, as I turn that round, you can see the black marks that I've drawn. And on this side here, okay, we've got, let me bring that up for you. We're down to here, which is the 1000 ml line there. I think you can see that, 1000, whereas before it was up here at 1500. So that means we've got about 1/3 less volume compared to the original Pam's Light and Fruity Tropical. So 1/3 less volume in a box that is 13% volume larger than the original pack. Please explain. Let's tip that back over. 2 litre. Whoops, one got away. Get him back. Look at the difference. That's the new one on the left, that's the original one on the right. I think it's probably hard to tell in sort of 2D on video, but there's quite a noticeable difference there, but we could see it in the jug anyway. And that is from these 2 boxes. So there we go, you can see the difference in size there with the new packaging on the left and the original packaging on the right, a difference of 3 centimeters in height.